Aloha everyone. This very well could be the final video lesson before the hurricane hits. Right now in Lahaina, there is absolutely no wind, 0 miles per hour. It's going to be probably right around 100 by tomorrow night. So this is definitely the calm right before the storm. Speaking of the calm, hopefully before the bull storm in the stock market, it was a pretty good session today. Excellent on my end. Breadth was great. My long positions did very well. I only had 2 end of day sell signals. Both were only 50 percenters, and I had very few intraday stops trigger. And that's basically because the market didn't do much. And even though it was kind of mixed volume overall, still didn't have anything happen the way you want. You can see the NASDAQ here, it rallied, but once again, below average and lower than the session before. Damn it, I just don't. I wish we could have a market where things lined up, but it is what it is. You trade it accordingly. There's nothing I can do about it. The only good news is that the S&P 500, S&PY, as you can see here, the New York Stock Exchange, they all pulled back on lighter trade. The DIA did not pull back on lighter trade. It was actually slightly higher on the ETF, but on the index it was lower. So I pay attention to the index over the ETF. So overall, excellent pullback day there. Wish the NASDAQ would have pulled back, or if it would have rallied, it would have been on heavier volume. And the IWM, once again, which was good, this is why my portfolio did well, it actually outperformed. Sorry, I had to take a phone call, but I believe where I was at, I was saying that the Russell 2000 IWM, with it being up 0.25%, with it leading the rest of the market, that's why my portfolio did so well. So overall, pretty good session, which then leads me up to my stops. I'm not showing you the buys that triggered, just know that they all filled, but NAKD, that's the only one that did not, because I just want everyone to focus on the intraday stops. Pretty solid overall. Profits, I think small losses, profits, small losses, profits, small losses, small losses, profits, 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 small losses, profits, small losses, profits. So this was it. These are all the stops from 3:30 when the market opens to 10 a.m. Maui time when the market closes. Think about it. All the positions I don't know how many I'm long, but I'm tracking 240. At least have 2 to 4 stops on all of them. And that's all that triggered today. Not too shabby. That then leads me to the end of day sell signals. HBIO, pretty clear cut. As you saw with intraday stops, crashed below the 20-day moving average on above average volume, so that is a 50% sell signal. And SMSI is completely rolling over the 50-day moving below the 50-day moving average and below the 8.6 low a day on heavier volume while losing that green bop. That's a 50% sell signal. 50% goes here. My final stop is here with HBIO. 50% of what I have left is here. I'm pretty sure I got stops here and then a final stop right here or here on HBIO. It's splitting hairs, or it might be at the same level. I'm not sure. And then that takes us to the new long positions. Now, they're all extended. Every one here that I'm going to go over is extended but TBIO. So everyone had to be reduced in half. Now, there's only 2 stocks I'm going to put 1% of my capital in, and just to let you know, I'm so fully invested here, I've already entered my orders, so I'm trying to get everything out of the way for the hurricane even before I make this video. So I've already entered my orders. They're all good to go. They're somewhere out there on the level 2. But I had to get rid of some orders on the books. Now, I'll put those orders back on the book as capitals raised, but I canceled EHTH, I canceled LXFR, I canceled TYPE, canceled Ruth, and canceled DMLP. I plan on putting them back on as capitals raised, but I needed to get rid of all of those open orders just to buy the new long position. So I'm fully invested here, basically. 95% long, about 5% cash. That 5% cash is now going into all of these names. So first off, 1% goes into KFRC. I want to get rid of that stupid white line that telechart just puts on here. And I can't have anything go super smooth or easy to get rid of. KFRC. So this will be a new long position. Like I said, if it's extended, if it has green bop, I'm okay with it as long as it's perfect speculator quality. ATTTU, KFRC, ENDP, and NGVC are all in the same way. I don't know how this happened, but somehow I didn't get filled on my IMMY order. I don't know if it was canceled by the system or where I brain farted at, but I have 0 shares. My limit order was at 303. I put it fine. I realized I didn't have this position yesterday when I went to go check my stops because I was going to move one to right below 297. Didn't have one. Reinitiated my limit order 303. It traded down to it, didn't fill it. But IMMY, and even though MJCO didn't work, that's my theory, though, that a lot of these have been working. So as long as they set up, I'll take them. If they fail like MJCO, I'll cut my losses short. If they work like, IMMY, great. That's how they're supposed to do. But KFRC, 1% of my account capital, 4250 limit order. First cut loss is right here at these lows. Then I got a second one here and a third final one here. Guys, please just use this level and this level. I'm actually going to be using 4 in full fair disclosure. 1, 2, 3, and then I'll have a fourth one here. But if the stock starts selling off on heavier volume or yellow bob, I don't mess around. I start raising stops immediately. I'm not going to give it room to work. It works right away. The only reason why those initial stops are there are in case something happens like YRIV. Let's say YRIV, though, intraday, sells off deep, deep, deep. That's the only reason why they're there. I mean, if it starts to move higher immediately, those low stops will go. If it starts to sell off immediately, the low stops will go. But I just want to let everybody know that that's where they are at. The other 1% position is from my IPO scan. It's the only one not extended, TBIO. Pocket pivot point signal with heavier volume and a nice BOP surge. This was the best looking one. There's a lot of good looking IPO charts. This is the only one that looks safe, with a safe entry with the proper potential reward based on that measure and move back to its old highs to the inherent risk. So I want to get long 1% of my capital in TBIO. 1066 first cut loss level. 1001, don't quite split in hairs here somewhere. Second cut loss level 966. Final cut loss level 920. Then there's ATTU, 0.75% of my account capital. Perfect speculator, same kind of thing. Want to get long 1977. First and cut loss level 1839. Next one 1799. And then I'm going to use other ones, but that's all that I want you guys to pay attention to. And to be honest with you, I don't really recommend going long this stock. I know how I'm working my orders. I understand what I'm doing. I'm fully prepared for this one not to work and to pull at MJCO. If you're not ready for that, if you expect everything to work or want safer trades, just avoid ATTU. ENDP, perfect speculator scan only, not confirmed anywhere else. 0.5% of my account capital. 1593, first cut loss level. 1827. Then, God, I cannot keep up. 1593, there's just too many stocks. 1511, 1455, 1399. This is what all these stocks are, a byproduct of shallow corrections followed by V-shaped straight up moves to new highs on no volume. This would not be happening if we had a market that was ebb and flowing. So I just want to make that perfectly clear. I can afford to trade like this. If not, you've got to select the safest ones. And tonight, I guess the only technically safe ones would be KFRC, TBIO, and then KMG ad signal, which is really CCMP. So you're really just risking to that first low, even though with KMG, I'm going to use 2 stops. But getting back to NP, that was it. 1399, the last stop. NGVC, same similar situation. 1886, then 1827, 1752, 1620, and then 1499. And then the last one, the ad signal in KMG, also 0.5%, like NGVC and ENDP, 7701. Really just at 7541, but I will initially have a 7403. Final stop for KMG. Even though CCMP, which they're merging with, doesn't have any low below it, I'm still willing to give it room to work because this is a powerhouse combination of a company in terms of earnings and sales growth. All right, everyone, that is it. I will try to make a video lesson tomorrow as the hurricane hits. Hopefully we won't lose power early on and I can get a video lesson out before all hell breaks loose tomorrow evening. Odds are I'm not going to have power on Friday. If I have power, that will be an absolute miracle. It doesn't seem likely, so keep that in mind. Aloha, everyone.